All right, folks, God bless you guys. Let's just get right to it. Welcome to This Is It, guys. So getting so wild. Okay, listen, Richard Montbleu is safe. He's with someone in California that picked him up after being kidnapped by Jeff Pesca. Richard has a lot of trepidation about going to a police department to give his statement. He wants Jeff arrested for the nefarious behavior, obviously. But the problem is he has family members that are being disingenuous, and he doesn't trust them either, because there have been police documents, like court documents, filed against Richard saying he was diagnosed as schizophrenic, saying that he was suicidal and was going to kill himself and his kids and those type things. So he is concerned that going to the police department might cause him to be apprehended and sent off to an insane asylum or institution. Wow. So he can't trust his family members. He doesn't feel comfortable. He knows Jeff Pesca was a lunatic that got into his life and scrambled his brain. So we've managed, the YouTube community and me reaching out and everybody that's been involved now, because now there's a lot of people in the peripheral that are helping and just helping us put this together, and we're diligently saving all the stuff. Okay. Anyway, I had a check-in phone call this morning with Richard. I want you to hear that. Pause this video right now and download it. Download this whole thing. Make sure you download it. Click Uncensored. My other my other internet site. There's plenty of other sites you guys can go. Let me show you where. Let me show you those sites. You go to Special Projects 2. You click on it, Special Projects 2. And then right here, all these right here. You can you can see Jonathan New, Brighteon, collectfiles.com. They'll be there. Jonathan's video archives, Click Uncensored right here. You can go there. And the thing is, I can give you my word. We're just going to give you everything that we get as it's coming to us. Now, there's stuff that we have on this phone, that phone, and we're trying to get it all together. And we're going to put everything we have into a big folder, which is what we're doing right now. But some of it, we got to make sure there's not people's addresses, those kind of things. Not very much of that stuff, mind you, but still some of it. So this is the Richard Montbleu folder right here. So all this stuff is part of the Richard folder. All these images, everything is part of this folder. This is all part of the same thing going on. It is wild. It's crazy. You can almost see. Well, I want you all to judge for yourself. I don't want to tell you what you can almost see. I can see a lot of stuff going on in here. Yeah, this is going to be good. Download this right now. If anything should happen for any reason, you don't see a video or something, go to Click Uncensored, go to Collect Files. It'll be there. We're going to get this. This is all going on jump drives. This is already on jump drives. This is already archived and backed up other places. Everything we do, we're saving and making it transparent for the general public. And that should be the case with everybody. Everybody that's involved should want to be just totally transparent. That's what truth. Tell the truth. Okay. Here we go. Let's do this first thing by Richard. So hang on one sec. So this is a phone call from early this morning with Richard. It says morning phone call with Richard, check-in 9/25/23. Okay, you know what? Let's take a moment to pray for Richard, everyone involved. Okay. In the name of Yeshua, Heavenly Father God, we just ask you to watch over Richard and his well-being and the person that's helping him. And just thank you for the outpouring of support to help Richard. Please bring him in safely. Please make every single person that's involved in this in any kind of nefarious way held accountable. Every single one of them. Anyone that's involved, please have them held accountable. I think anyone that's involved in this in any way, shape, or form should be held accountable. For the record, the Jonathan Kleck YouTube channel is a YouTube channel. All right, y'all ready? Here's Richard. Like I said, I would download this. I would download this. I would pause it right now and download it first, then watch it. Okay? There you go. Okay. Had a whopper headache last night. We're going to release some of these audio recordings of Richard today. Of us talking to Richard and Billy. I'm going to call Richard and Billy right now and make sure that they record everything. That way there's no one has to say that's hearsay, because I've heard that in courtrooms before. It's a way for people to get out of things. If it's all recorded, and I guess I don't know the laws in the state of California, but wherever they go, whoever they talk to, they should say we are recording everything we're doing. That way there's just certainly an accurate record of everything. That way no one has to try and regurgitate things. And with all this excitement and craziness going on, it's easy to miss or forget stuff after trying to process so many phone calls and those type things. If you have a recording, all you have to do is go back and everybody sit down and listen to the recording, and then there's no question about it. So really good way to just make and establish a good record for law enforcement and for yourself and your own protection. Anyway, so I'm going to give these guys a call real quick and see if I can get a hold of them. So it's, let's see. I'm just going to call Billy out there and, okay. Hey guys.
Good morning.
Oh yeah, thank goodness y'all are up. I didn't want to be the morning bomber phone call. Yeah, good. Okay, so listen, one thing I very much would like for y'all to do is record everything. I mean, I don't know how it works in California, but in Texas, if you're party to whatever's going on, you can record it. So if you're out there, walk in and say, I would like to, record everything that way. And if they say why, I say, well, I want an accurate record of everything that's said. That way there's no confusion for any courtrooms or anything like that. That way we have an accurate record for everybody.
That was the plan. Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
Okay, good. Just wanted to dot the I, cross the T. Yeah, so anyway, good deal. Then I'm going to go out a video this morning. I'm going to kind of lay out this serpent thing in everybody's face. Here's the very interesting part about all this. All these people seem to have a whole lot of hatred towards me. The Sullivans, Kathy Edge, Chuck Edge, this Gene Rebel guy, and all these other people. And here's this guy that I don't even know, injecting himself into your life, slowly taking over your thing, and then all of a sudden deciding that you're the enemy. You're 2X. It's all too convenient, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It sure is. And it looks like I said, I believe other people are involved. And
I went through all the recordings with the police, the sheriff's department last night, and all through, Jeff's recordings as well.
Yeah.
Man, Jonathan, it just doesn't seem, and the private investigator, it just doesn't seem like anybody wants to help me or listen to you.
Isn't it fascinating how that's all? Yeah, that's what
bizarre. It's so bizarre that they have not even like say, Jonathan, I want to interview you with all the stuff that you have. Let's go through it.
Yeah, that's what. Man, as soon as this thing started, as soon as I did that first video, I saw that. I saw that there was no active effort to get a hold of me by anybody, and then you had sent in your email, and we were, thank God Richard emailed us, and I sent that right away to whatever, I think El Dorado Police Department, whoever those guys are where you were at, and I sent that off, but no one was interested. I'm like, well, wait a minute, there's a missing person, and he sent me an email, and we still hadn't verified your voice and that kind of thing, but people that have watched your videos and stuff, they said it sounds like Richard's demeanor and that kind of thing. So I was saying, well, I believe this is a credible email, and
nobody's real interested. I was just like, weird. Why is nobody just reaching out to me? Then we get the recording where you sent us, you know, what was it? The first video recording, and I thought there would be a huge break where someone like from the police department would be calling, oh, thank you so much for that recording. His family's so grateful, and yeah, let's talk about what are we gonna do? What's the plan? You know, just like I don't understand why there hasn't been this concerted effort to get together with myself and other people that want to bring you in and want to have you in front of them in the way that you're comfortable with, because I can see your trepidation. There's too many unknowns.
Just the way the private investigator treated you. I mean, I was like shocked when I heard that entire, narration.
Yeah.
He has no idea. He's trying to implicate you, and he just.
That's what he said. He said, you're implicated in this. And I'm like, wait a minute. Are you a police officer saying that to me now? Because I want to know. And did you see how he was evasive and then tried to posture himself as if he was actual? I work with the police department. I think that's what he said. And then I pressed him, are you with the police department? I think I tried to make him say, you're either with the police department or not. And that's when he said, I'm a private investigator. So he was disingenuous.
Shady.
Very disingenuous. So who do you trust when everybody's being disingenuous? That's my question.
I know.
Right. So, yeah, that was the thing. So whatever phone calls, whatever stuff y'all have, you should record everything. That way there's a record. Because in court, and stuff in courtrooms, I've been there, they say, well, that's hearsay.
Yeah.
Hearsay evidence is not admissible. But if you have recordings and I can take any recording I have and I can make a transcript of it and give that transcript to the court, and it is admissible as evidence. So we want document.
What I have learned through the El Dorado Sheriff's Department is that unless it's in an email and documented, it doesn't exist, because they came to my house to do a wellness check, right? And I was there, and Jeff was there, and I spoke to the sheriff and both of them, and we had a really good conversation. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. My family's just over, thinking this, and when we went back to get a record of that, it didn't exist, Jonathan.
What?
Yes, it didn't exist. There was no record of.
Okay, so that's really weird. So here's the thing. I want you to email your stuff in. Email your well checks, what your video recordings that you made.
Yeah. You
have the email address for Deputy Mermod or the police department there, don't you?
I can go online and get it off your. No, I don't know if I have his email.
Okay, so let me call Zach right now and tell Zach immediately to send you Deputy Mermod's email. So there's a record of you sending those well checks to him. So it goes into their system. We want all this stuff in the system so no one can cut it off and say it doesn't exist. We have to make a record of everything. Just remember this. Document. Everything to where it's admissible.
Copy someone on the emails.
Copy someone on the emails. Don't just send it to him. Send it to other people when you send it out. Copy me. Copy your sister. Copy other people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna call Zach right now and say I need him to send you right now the email address that we have for Deputy Mermod.
Perfect.
All right, thanks. I'll call you back in a bit.
Okay, thank you.
Bye. Okay, that's fascinating. That's just crazy. Oh, this is so crazy. Okay, here we go.
Okay, so I'm going to pause that now, and I'm going to X that out. So here's the next thing. So yeah, I want Richard to get that stuff in as fast as he can to the sheriff's department. he's trying to write an accurate statement of what's going on, but he doesn't trust people in his own family. Now, I tried to establish a relationship with Richard's sister named April, and I thought she was being, yeah, okay, let's do this together, and that's what I was trying to accomplish, but she became very disingenuous as well. And I'll show you. So I think I showed you guys, or may have already put this in a video, but I'll just show you right here what I'm going to read. And this is all going to be part of the show notes. Friday, 3:55 p.m. I had another very lengthy conversation with Richard and the person that was willing to pick him up. That's the guy that took Richard to safety. Richard listens to the recording of Jeff claiming that Richard was lying. Richard is very much agreeable to giving the police the entire statement, letting them know everything concerning the entire situation. Also, the person that is with him. Oh, sorry. I'm just going to read it here, and then these should be posted in the show notes. So it says he's going to give them the entire statement and letting them know everything concerning the entire situation. Also, the person that is with him has had an entire day to listen to Richard's story. So the person that picked Richard up off the street after having been kidnapped, he has been listening to Richard's story about this whole crazy thing. And during this time, we call in occasionally, and then I end up hearing parts of it, and I'm recording everything. Every single person I've talked to, I have audio recordings. April, her husband, everybody I've told I'm recording and documenting everything. Richard knows it. Everybody that talks to me knows I'm recording everything. I'm documenting everything. Does that sound like the person that was trying to set it up? You decide. Or does it start appearing like there's something else going on here? Just wait. Y'all are going to be like, yeah, just wait. Hopefully y'all, now here's the other thing. I made available 2 recordings earlier today, and right after that, I start getting text message from Donna, the sister of Richard, who's the one telling everybody I'm a Satanist, and she's got firsthand knowledge of whatever, me being evil or whatever. Her comment on Brighteon is what I'm referring to, where she's on the same comment thread as Karen Sullivan. It's Jim's video on Brighteon. Karen Sullivan has a comment there. Some guy that made an alleged threat. Chuck Edge making a comment that I don't think any legitimate police officer should ever make. And it's just weird. But now Donna, that was making the very hateful comments about me being a Satanist, now she's contacting me today as soon as I make these other audio recordings of Richard available. Why? All of a sudden, Donna, that I'm the Satanist, is trying to break in on text messaging to me. I'm going to show you those in just a minute, but let me get through this one. So after this long text message, you guys can go read it. I'm going to have Dave the Way put this in right now. I'm going to call Dave right during this phone call and just make sure. Let's see. Sorry guys, bear with me. Just stick around because you want to see the lid fly off? That's so crazy. Okay, here we go. Let me check the folder too real quick. Hey Dave, did you get a series of text, like I think I copied text messages from April Montbleu and sent them. There should have been maybe ones that came in today. Let me just check. Okay, so let me see what's going on here. Okay, I think maybe because I've been so overloaded with stuff that I'm using 2 phones, so they may have gotten like shoved off in the, yep. Okay, so let me do this. Okay, guys, I'm going to pause the video real quick and get these in the folder. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you guys the way all these different players that are going on involved in this, whether or not it's private detectives, whether or not it's family members, whoever seems to be involved from there's two opposing camps. There's the Jonathan Kleck trying to help Richard camp, and then there's the Donna and April and Richard's family camp that is postured against me, which is okay. They can do that's fine. But then there's also the Jeff Pesca that's kidnapped Richard and done this horrible stuff to him that I'm trying to bring to justice. Then there's these other people out there spreading this nonsense like Jim and Karen Sullivan doing their channels, Kathy Edge as well, where those people are reposting Gene Revel stuff, which is Gene Revel needs to be locked up on a psych. That guy is a lunatic. That's my opinion for someone. I passed several MMPIs with the results were called unremarkable. Dina Trevino, San Antonio, Texas, to win custody of my children. Unremarkable on my testing. That's what she told me. She called me in. She said, Jonathan, why would these people make these allegations against you? When I was in a position similar to Richard. And I said, well, that's interesting. And when I mean similar to Richard, I had family members coming against me because all of a sudden I didn't care about the millions of dollars with Vlad Iwer. So what? I found something more important. I got my soul back and I got to see the truth, how this world is not at all what we perceived it as. So I find all this very interesting. So there's a lot of people that are mad over there coming my direction. I'm trying to protect Richard because he's been picked up from a kidnapping. He's been picked up from escaping a kidnapper, someone that was going to do him extreme harm. And someone from the YouTube community that follows my channel, that's a true follower of the Jonathan Kleck channel, someone that's one of us, not some agent provocateur. By the way, what's really fascinating is I prayed about this before it all kicked off and the Lord showed me agent provocateur. That's the exact word he showed me. So he was right. After I do all this stuff today during this video, I'm going to play another video or audio recording, that came in from Taos, New Mexico, the last time I went to Black Rock. I went and laid hands on Richard's dad. And I want y'all to hear the praise report from someone that I've only been to their house one time. I've only met his dad one time. I laid hands on his dad. He had some traumatic brain stuff going on. He was waking up every other day, his nose bleeding, losing. Richard said it wasn't his dad like his dad used to be. And I'll let y'all listen to the recording. But guess what? His dad's good. Praise God, because I serve the living God. I don't serve whoever these other people are serving. And here's the problem. I'm going to start checking boxes. All these different people have lost any trust. I've tried to trust April Montbleu. She was disingenuous. She lied several times now. And I record everything. So it's easy to go cross-reference who's lying. If you don't record everything and you're not keeping a record of everything, then this phone call, that phone call, there's so much data coming in. It's like being spun in a circle and you got to go pin the tail on the donkey. It's pretty tough. So I record everything. I told everybody I was recording everything. And now I want you guys to watch it play out. So I had a detective call me and I want you all to decide. You decide. I'm going to let you hear the audio recording. Do you think this guy is being genuine or disingenuous? Is he lying or is he being forthcoming? Which one? You decide. So let's play that real quick and then I'll check him off the list. I wish I could talk to him, but unfortunately he's being disingenuous. And so I have to scratch him off the list. Can't talk to him. He posed as somebody else. And then we're going to check April Montbleu off the list. And we're going to check Donna off the list. And I'm going to show you the way they got checked off the list. And you guys just decide. Then you're going to hear from Richard Montbleu. You're going to hear an awesome revelation. There you go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so let's go up here. In the state of Texas, if you're party to the situation, you are allowed to record it. So I'm going to play the recording of the detective that called Here we go. Let's see. There's so much stuff. Let's see. Richard is safe. Richard wellness video. Richard is safe, but was kidnapped by Jeff Petska. Update. Richard has checked. Okay, let's read these all out. Shout out to all subscribers. Help find Richard and let's figure this out ASAP. Then Catopia clip. Richard has checked in via email. Video malfunction again, but strange things going on in Cali. Richard checked in shortly after this video. Okay. Update and check in with Richard. Richard is safe but was kidnapped by Jeff Petska and escaped. All files are being made public. Richard wellness audio. Richard is safe, and here is his video check-in. I want to stop right there for a second. Now, think about this. I am having Richard make a video just letting people know, okay, I've been talking to your sister April. They want to know you're well, please. And so Richard does a video recording, sends it to me. I give it to his sister. I'm sending it out to him. There's no gratitude. There is a half-hearted, oh, thank you. Yeah, now, wait till you hear the other stuff I've got. Any thank yous from April or anyone at this point, they're not to be believed because it's disingenuous, and I'll show you why. Here you go. Very, very strange behaviors going on. Who is Jeff Petska? If you can help us, please email us. Then Jim video statement from editor's book. That's where the one where Jim is like, why are Jonathan Click followers threatening our lives? Jim, show us who those people were that left those comments. I'd love to know who they are. I will track it down myself, Jim Sullivan. Jim, are you implicated in this, Karen? Do you know something? Do y'all know something? Have y'all been in contact with any of these people I'm talking about? It'd be interesting to know those answers. Here we go. Jim video statement from the editor's channel, Brighteon. Yeah, this is where the comments were made, the really weird comments. Here's a shout out to all subscribers. Help us find Richard and let's figure this out ASAP. Okay, pre-recording and recording to Jeff Petska. That's the first phone call I made to Jeff Petska and was feeling him out, trying to figure out what was going on. Boy, did that help out a lot. Audio threats from unknown number provided by Jeff Petska. Now listen right here. I want y'all to hear these threats. These are credible threats. Now, Jeff Petska, when he thought he was befriending Jonathan Kleck, I let him send me what do you got? What do you got? He's like, I want to send these to you. I'm like, okay, send them. So Jeff Petska sent me these clips, and I listened to them, and these are credible threats. One is from Donna, Richard Montblue's sister, threatening Jeff Petska. And I can understand being upset if you thought someone had come into your brother's life. I get it. I'd be pissed too. But I would be doing things in a different way. I wouldn't. Why would you call up and make sure you left an audio recording of a terroristic threat? It's like, wait, that doesn't seem so smart, does it? So then there's some man that calls Jeff Petska, and Richard Montbleu has confirmed this, that the person that called, the man that you're getting here calling, he made an audio threat against Jeff Petska, and Richard was there, but he said it was really weird because Jeff Petska acted like, oh, well, it's not that big a deal. Dude, I'd be like, this guy just threatened to kill me. So this is a credible threat. Richard said he expected that Jeff Petska would go to the police department and make a report on these audio threats. Terroristic threat. And you have it recorded. The ones I've got, I get those kind of threats, but they're on YouTube and the channel's gone, that kind of stuff. I get stuff in the mail, no return address, chopped up letters. It's like, okay. But they have an audio recording. Jeff Petska has an audio recording of of Donna Montbleu, Richard's sister, making a threat to Jeff Petska. And like I said, I can understand being super pissed if you thought some guy had moved in on your brother and was doing to him what he was doing. And then the man that made the threats, these are legitimate threats, but Jeff Petska never went and filed any police report on it. Why not? Okay, watch this. Here we go.
Jeffrey, you have 24 hours to cut bait, or I'm coming to fucking get you. You have no idea what's coming. Please, don't say no and stay so I can do what I need to do. You fucking piece of shit. Taking you all down, JK included, pussy.
Okay, that was the man. Richard confirmed that those came in when he was standing there with Jeff. Who is that person? Now, here is Donna Montbleu making a terroristic threat and leaving it as a recording. That's just weird.
Jeffrey, you have better have my brother's interest in your heart. If not, somebody will hunt you down.
Okay, so now there we go. There's those. Now the last person making that phone call, Donna Montbleu, she's got there's threats, or when I say threats, there's comments she made on the Jim Sullivan video where she said basically she's got proof that I'm a Satanist. Let me just see if I can find that real quick. All right. All right, folks, hang on one second. I just got to make sure that everybody knows. Hang on one sec, guys. Yeah, so I have the video up. I want you to go back and just re-screenshot every single comment. Make sure it's nice and clear. But yeah, because on the screenshots, they're not showing up correctly, but we need to do it right now. Bye. All right, so here we go. Again, like I said, I am detailing everything I can detail. I'm here to make sure people understand that I was not involved in this. Obviously, at this point, it should be obvious to anybody. But there's other people acting so strange, it doesn't make any sense. So I want the YouTube community, I want y'all to see this. I mean, they're trying to give this ministry a horrible black eye. And when I say ministry, I minister to the people out in the world what the Lord has shown me. That's what it means. So I'm a minister of goodwill. Here, let me show you what the Lord showed me. Let me go. Some people reach out. I go lay hands on them because the Lord sends me to them. And they're incurable. And some of them, I don't go lay hands on people and then nothing happens. I go, I show up, I lay hands on them. And then usually, I haven't really been keeping a tally, but when I go lay hands on someone with something that's incurable, they're well. And we'll just line them up. We'll just line up the witnesses. And you can call their doctors to make sure they were actually sick. If you don't believe it, whoever those people are that may not believe it. I can understand being skeptical. I can understand that. I used to be skeptical too. But then I did cry out and I just said, God, I hate this place. I just want to know the truth. I did everything I thought you're supposed to do. I went and made a lot of money. I got the girl. I got the cars. I got the house. And it's not at all what I thought it was. And I said, I just want to know the truth. I said these words. I said, even if I wanted to find Jesus, I wouldn't know which one to turn to, because all these people have their own version of Jesus, all these different denominations. A friend of mine was Gary, who I loved. Gary was a good friend. I loved Gary dearly. And he went into Mormonism, and he would, Johnny, you gotta join Mormon, dude, it's not. I was like, okay, Gary, just back off, dude. Leave me alone, quit overloading me with your Mormonism. If you don't have this Jesus, Jonathan, you're not going to heaven. You gotta know who Jesus is. And I understand that's true. And I was like, yeah, but Gary, you know what? Just chill out, dude. I was born and raised Catholic, Gary. Just, leave me alone. Let me, just let me find my way. And his intentions were sincere. I mean, and I love Gary, but it's just, I started researching Mormonism a little bit, and I was like, I was born and raised in Catholicism, and I saw the hypocrisy. I was like, this is crazy. Okay, go do all this bad stuff, and then you go sit in a pew on Sunday. You don't ever read the Bible. They just have something called a mass. Everybody repeats the same words over and over again, and then they make the sign of an upside down cross on your body. See, everybody thinks it's a sign of the cross. It's not. It's a sign of an upside down cross because they touch their head here, and then they go to here. So what's the distance from here to here? And then they go like this. That's an upside down cross. Isn't it wild? The Vatican's an upside down cross. The whole building is an upside down cross at the bottom of a keyhole. Isn't that fascinating? So anyway, long story short, I cried out to God. I said, I just want to know who Jesus is. I don't know which one to choose. They're all different. Everyone's got their own version of Jesus. I was like, it's insane. I just want to know the truth. That was the word, the truth. Now here I am involved in this crazy thing involving this guy, Richard Montbleu, who I did a video, I think, saying what a good job Richard had done repackaging the altar and understanding what it was. I was showing the world that the Vatican's a snake. The snake is eating a bunch of angels. The angels are the food for the serpent. Wow, that's a pretty big mind-blowing deal, don't you think? The largest church that says it's supposed to be Christian just happens to be a big snake eating a bunch of angels? Don't you think that requires a little looking into? Yeah. So anyway, I remember I made a video. I think I made a video, and I know that I let Richard know that, hey, you did a good job, but you got to be careful with this information because God gave it to me. Don't try and go make it your own. It's okay. Go show it to everybody. But when you try and do what I do, because the Lord specifically wired me for this, the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti, for those of y'all that have seen it, Kingdom Divided, the breakdown of that hieroglyph, it's a serpent race eating a sheep race. What's the Vatican? It's a serpent. What's it doing? Eating a sheep. What about the people that say, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you? What about those people? Hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you, and then the picture that they drew of me, they put a dead sheep on my face. So imagine a hieroglyph that's 1,300 BC has a serpent being impregnating a female on her knees. I called it an alien a long time ago. The word I use for the serpent being inside that right there. I was like, it's an alien, but what it is a serpent being. So he's impregnating a girl. I'm sorry, man. This headset is just. He's impregnating a girl that's on her knees, and Akhenaten is holding a child that in the head of the kid is a dead sheep and a reptile that's birthing. Do y'all think that's kind of weird? Like an ancient Egyptian hieroglyph that has a serpent being inside of a human body, like he's in there, inside. He's inside. See the blue head there with the frowny marionette mouth? And then inside the head of the kid is a dead sheep with its tongue sticking out. And also that same image becomes a reptile. So now you have a common denominator. You have a serpent race killing a sheep race in a hieroglyph that's 1,300 BC, Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Then you have the Vatican that's a serpent, the building's a serpent, and it's killing a bunch of angels that are in the form of a big sheep. Shown it to y'all like hundreds of times. So now you have a hieroglyph and you have a building that matches the hieroglyph identically. Gee, that's no big deal. The largest church in the world that says it's Christian is really built in the shape of a snake and it's eating a sheep. Now, I get converted and the Lord shows me the truth that you're caught in a system, Jonathan, where you got inverted. So if you want to see the truth, you have to turn everything upside down and look at it the other direction. And so I did what he said and I turned the Virgin upside down. Let's take a little stroll down memory lane real quick. So I turn the Virgin upside down and it becomes a dead sheep. Wow, that's crazy. So now we have the common denominator again. We have this dead sheep thing going on, and serpents. Isn't that fascinating? Let's try this temporary folder. Maybe we'll get we'll find very quickly the imagery I'd like to show you. Maybe take one more folder or two. There's one of the Virgin becoming the dragon in the Madonna video. Let me scroll down a little further, see if I can find it. Here we go. One moment. Well, here's an interesting one, by the way. There we go. So here's a guy with a big tattoo of an angel and a demon, and the devil down in the pit looking up, an angel yoked to a demon, and the whole thing, when you just merely perceive it a different way, becomes a sheep. There's a sheep. There's a sheep's eye. There's his nostril. There's his lips. There's his ear. So the whole sheep becomes an angel and a demon yoked together with the devil looking up from the pit. Well, that's crazy. That's the same thing that the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti is. Now, here is the dead sheep with its tongue sticking out. There, it made into a GIF. There it is. Just watch. There's the Virgin. Just turn it upside down. So why is the Virgin a dead sheep when you turn it the opposite direction? Because it's true. The angels that wanted to exercise their free will and come into the system you call the earth, take on a host body. You got your host body, but now you're yoked together with a demon. There's a good you and there's a bad you. Your eyes are double. They're not single. Remember that song by Foreigner? Remember the band Foreigner? Fill my eyes with that double vision. Remember? Foreigner, fill my eyes with that double vision. Okay. So I'm showing you the key to the kingdom of heaven, the mystery of everything. Turn everything upside down and you'll see the truth. Isn't it fascinating that the people who are attacking me are calling me a Satanist? Did you know, though, the Bible says, let your light shine and expose the darkness by shining the light on it. Here's how you shine the light on the darkness. You turn it the other way, and you can see what it is. So the Virgin is really a dead sheep. Yeah. The Vatican is really a serpent eating a sheep. Now back to where I was. Remember, hey, Johnny, I drew a picture of you. I went into Starbucks. Alex, the barrister. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? Winking and sticking out his tongue at me. I told Chris, the manager, I'll bet you $1 million. I told Chris, I said, Chris, if I go sell my Vlad Eyewear trademarks, if, I just go sell them for a couple mil, I'll give you the first $1 million if I'm wrong. That's what I told Chris. And he goes, I'll take it. And I said, okay. All right, well, I'll bet you $1 million. Alex, the guy making coffee, I'll bet you he draws a picture of me. And when he does, he puts an image of a dead sheep on my face. You see the dead sheep with its tongue sticking out? Why would someone put a dead sheep in behind my ear? It's kind of weird, right? Here's another one, Marcel, that used to have Marcel used to have a place down at an art gallery, and he drew a picture of me. It was from Guatemala. Hola, Jonathan, mira, yo lo hago para ti. I'm like, hey, gracias. So he drew on a piece of wood. I have the original right over there on the wall as a display to show everybody. This is one of the first things the Lord let me see. So there is the original, so you can dare to compare. See the knot in the wood, the little watery looking knot right there? See that? That's the eye of the sheep. And then there's the tongue sticking out, the nose, and then look, the head of a goat. What's with the goat head? Like the goat's got two closed eyes, horns. What's with the head of the dead sheep? A sheep and goat facing opposite directions. My eyes are closed because he's mocking me. And then what's so nefarious is you see the drops coming off my fangs? Well, those become drops that make the eye of a serpent that's eating me. So here is a sheep and a goat, facing opposite directions. And when you turn it upside down, it's a serpent eating me. So a serpent is eating me and I'm a sheep. I'm part sheep, part goat. Sheep is up, goat is down. It's the most obvious thing in the world now. Do you think Satan would be pissed off if I revealed the mystery of everything in the world? I mean, this is the mystery of the entire world. Where do we come from? Who are we? What's life all about? So the Lord God whom I serve allowed Jonathan Kleck to solve the mystery of everything. And he told me a long time ago, it's part of the court record. It's part of the entire record because we're getting ready to go to a heavenly court, I think, very soon. I think this has a really good chance of the Lord showing those that are part of the wrongdoing that we're all about to be judged, because I'm an end of the world harbinger. The end of the world's here. Isn't this fascinating? The court record will show that the Lord told me, I'm going to use you to solve the riddle of ages. I was like, what does that mean? He showed me, just turn everything upside down and you'll see the truth. Why is the Vatican a snake? Why? Anyone want to tell me? Why is the hieroglyph of Akhenaten and Nefertiti? Why? Why is there a serpent? Let's go look at that real quick. You know what? Let's go look at a couple images. Why not? While everybody's here, while we're solving this Richard Montbleu thing, let's go look at this stuff as well. This will be fun, yeah? So, alien xenomorph, that folder right here, and then I think there's a subfolder in here called the hieroglyph. Let's see, here, one moment. Yeah, it's in. If y'all want to know how to find it, I want y'all to know how to find all this. This is what I spent my life doing. This is why I walked away from all the big money, the tens of millions of dollars. And then the people I'm dealing with in California, they think I could give a shit about a couple of $100,000. If I needed a couple $100,000, I could probably rally people out in the world and say, guys, I really need this. Would someone please step up and help me? And the Lord would make it happen, because he's kept this ministry going since the time he told me to start it. It's so crazy. If I needed $10 million and I said, Lord, I need the money. Do you want me to sell the trademarks? I'm sure he would have a buyer there for it. But the problem is, when there's that kind of money around, the people that want to be your friend and the people that want to just get to it, it's stupid. I don't want to be part of something like that. So here we go. Alien hieroglyph. Ready? Let's look at the alien. Oh, here we go. So let's look at a couple images. Let's look at side by side. Let's do a Jonathan Kleck video, and then we'll incorporate it into a Richard Montbleu video too. Okay, so here is a dead sheep. Now, I love you in Christ, but if you don't see the dead sheep, I'm just going to use the prophecy of Isaiah on you. And if you don't understand how important it is that it is a dead sheep, I'm also going to use the prophecy of Isaiah that Jesus repeated several times, and that's repeated also in the book of Ezekiel and also in Isaiah several times. And it says, they will see, but they won't see. They will hear, but they won't hear. And they will not understand to me, and they will not turn to me and let me heal them. Let me show you that. Watch. Here's an image of a dead sheep with its tongue sticking out. There's the eye. There's the eye. Nostril. There's the line in the lip. There's the tongue sticking out. Here's the head. There's the top of the head going out to the ear, going out to the other ear. You want to see an image of Jesus crucified? Look right here. Here's the head crucified. See? There's the head crucified. Here's the pectoral muscles, like his chest. Here's the shoulder. There's the arm going out. There's the arm. Look, here's his stomach muscles there and there. Here's his waist bent. There's like it looks like maybe a little cloth on him. There's his rear end. Here's his legs bent. Here's his legs, like right here, nailed to the cross. See it? There's an image of Christ crucified. Why would Christ crucified be hidden right here? Let me ask you a question. Do you see a red head right here? That being the eye, nose, mouth, chin, wearing a long robe. See the long robe right here? See the robe? Why is there a pitchfork going up here being made out of the Virgin's hands? Why? Why is that stuff hidden in there? Why? Because I was the guy the Lord God would use to solve the riddle of ages. I think everything that's going on right now is, obviously there's a spiritual war going on. But the problem is, the people that I would like to forge a relationship like Richard's sister April. She's already been so disingenuous that there's nothing I can do to maintain a relationship with her because she's been so fraudulent. The private detective, who I would love to give it all to a detective and say, you handle this crap. That's like, no, but he's been disingenuous. I think we should play him because he also led us to believe something other than that was the total truth. Okay, let me show you a couple more pictures and we'll move on. Okay, there it is, Jonathan Kleck. There's a dead sheep on top of my head. There's the goat. And here's a Mayan Indian. There's the eye. There's his nose, top lip, chin, 3 pyramids of Giza. Because the race of beings that we're talking about, the serpent race, they are the pyramids. So let me show you. There's the serpent with his mouth open eating me. That's why I put the drop of blood there. And that's why he put the collar on me like he did. The tail's wrapped around my neck and there's a serpent eating me. And then if you want to go do it yourself, go try and draw it in yourself. But see, the Lord God gave me a very miraculous gift. Either the Vatican's a snake or it's not. So if the Vatican is a snake and I'm the person the Lord God had show it to you, well, then I should obviously be someone that you should understand that I'm not going to sit here and tell anyone lies because I work for the King of the truth, the one that's the truth. Here's another image of a sheep. If you'll look right here at the eye, and there's the tongue sticking out, and there's the nose. So there's the eye right here. There's the teardrop. I would actually need to rotate it a little more to the right. There's the nose. There's the tongue. Here's the top of the head. Here's the ear of the sheep. Why is the Nefertiti the queen in a hieroglyph that's 1,300 years before Christ? Why is Nefertiti a dead sheep when you turn her upside down? There you go. Let me show you. So here's another dead sheep with its tongue sticking out. So there's tattooed, dead sheep, sheep, dead sheep, angel, demon combined. Hang on one sec, please. Okay, so let's go. So that's a sheep for sure. Anyone that says it's not, well, I'm going to have to pull out my I work for the Lord card, unlike this lunatic Jeff Petska that's posing. That's an agent provocateur. I've drawn in all these lines on Akhenaten. Here's the serpent being right here. There's eye, nose, frowny mouth. There's top of his head, his neck. So here is just kind of an overview of the whole hieroglyph. Here's a very rudimentary image, but I've done this in great detail. Great detail. Not once, not twice. I've done this several times just to make sure. Let me show you what's in this thing so you understand. The same thing that the Vatican is, a serpent eating a sheep, is what a hieroglyph that's 1,300 years before Christ is. A serpent eating sheep? That's pretty wild. So here you go. Here's the serpent made up from the queen's leg and made up from the partial body of the child she's holding. There's the eye of the serpent. Here's the serpent being up here. This is not a very good drawing. It's drawn in great detail. Here's the girl being impregnated on her knees. And here's the guy trapped in the pit as fuel. That's one of God's angels that got caught up in the snare. Okay, so now let's get away from that. And let's go back to this thing going on with Richard Montbleu and the forces of evil and the forces of good and truth and lies and all the weird stuff that's going on and people with weird channels. Jim and Karen and Kathy had this need to start all these channels after the ark closed to tell everybody I'm a false prophet. That's okay. But for them to be starting channels saying that I promote violence against them is lunacy. It's delusional. It's the other way around. See, Gene Revel's channel promotes violence against Jonathan Kleck. Just go read all the comments. Go read my channel's comments. We don't care about them. They can do whatever. I think they have to deal with the God I serve, though. We all do. Okay. But their job seems to be to make sure they discredit Jonathan and do everything they can to harm me. That's their positioning. All you have to go do is look at all the stuff that we saved. It speaks for itself. Okay, so now let's get back to that. And let's get back to this. So Donna Bratton, this is Richard's sister, says, so true. Jonathan Kleck is a fraud. He is a Satanist himself. How does Donna know that I'm a Satanist? Where did she come up with that crazy stuff? No, I'm not. I've dedicated the last 20 years of my life to serving God, serving others. If I didn't do what I do for the well-being of everybody, can you imagine if I had focused my attentions like I have in 20 years doing what I do, but on this kind of stuff? I'd be living on my own island probably. Okay. Uh-huh. And so to think that in any way, shape, or form, monetary gain is something I would want from something like this, that's complete lunacy, because people that know me know that I'll give money to pretty much most people that show me they have a need for it, if I can. And we have. So, uh-huh. Jim and Karen were some of those people, by the way. By the way, the tenants at the Ark, y'all don't know this, but the tenants will come up and say, I was giving money to tenants. The people that were living there, I wanted to make sure they had money. I'd send them, here's $500 for the next couple weeks. Make sure you got food until you got a job yet. Okay, all right. Well, here, let me make sure you have what you need. Yeah, not just one or two tenants. I think for all of them. Yeah. So I'm not motivated by wanting to have a lot for me. That doesn't matter. So anyway, I am a total Satanist, she says. Fear your salvation, Jonathan. Okay, now she is getting into crazy territory. Fear your salvation, Jonathan, because what you're preaching and doing to people is all from the devil. Okay, no, it's not. I serve the living God. I serve Jesus Christ. Now, here's the thing. If Donna knows the Bible, she should know this. I'm going to confess something that the Bible says if you do this, you can discern between those who really serve me and those who don't. Now, Jesus Christ is the Lord God come in the flesh. Jesus Christ. Jesus is the Christ, and he is the Lord God come in the flesh, and he is my Lord and Savior, and I serve him and him alone. If you know your scriptures. Okay, so now, then she says, I have firsthand experience what you have done to my brother. So now she says, I've done something to her brother. Okay, now here's where we're going with the rest of this video for right now. I want you guys to go look at all the little short videos that I've done where, we show the serpent race and all that good stuff. It's a race of beans. Go look at the weird comments that Chuck Edge made about, I said it's okay to kill someone that's a double downer. That's nothing a police officer should ever write. That's not true. So that's not believable or trustable. April, after I sent her everything that I was trying to keep her in the loop on with her brother, because I was like, hey, Richard, can you help me put your sister at ease? I want to send her, a well check. Could you do a video so she knows you're okay? And Richard's like, yeah. So Richard does a little video, and I send it to his sister, and I make sure it goes in the folder, and I make sure it's available to the public. And then she's pressing me that I need to get a hold of Richard right now. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Richard has your number, April. He can call you if he wants. So why are you pushing me? I got your brother to do a video. I called him and said, please do this so they know you're okay. All right, so he does it. Let me pull this up. Hang on one sec. Okay, so let's see if it's in the folder now. So it should be in the folder by now. So we go to the Richard Montbleu folder now, where we have all things Richard Montbleu crisis and craziness going on. And then conversation with April, that's the one I was kind of reading to you. I told him about what you had told me about wanting to take care of him. And he says he's, out of all the family members, he trusts you the most. but still has trepidation in regards to being dropped off at your house. So April wanted Richard to be dropped off at her house. And I can understand that. Being a family member, I'd be like, let's get him here. But I said he has trepidation because he thinks you guys are going to try and like seize him and take him to an insane asylum, because there is a court document from Richard's wife in which she claims that Richard is schizophrenic. He's made claims that he was going to hurt himself, commit suicide. Richard said all that's not true, that Richard said there's no doctor's diagnosis that he's got schizophrenia and that the claims are completely false. Well, in some of the court's document stuff, Richard's wife, Jeanette, she's saying Jonathan Kleck's a cult leader and Jeffrey Petska is my guy that I send out like a handler, and he's the one handling Rich. Where the hell did she get that from? Well, I know that Jim Sullivan and Karen Sullivan have been talking a lot to Donna, April's sister, Richard's sister as well. So Donna's the one making the weird comments that I'm a Satanist and she knows and I'm going to, my salvation's done. No, Donna, I think it might be the other way around, sweetheart. I'm laying hands on people that are blind and they see. I'm laying hands on people that they're terminal and they're well. But she's passing judgment over me. Isn't that fascinating? I'm giving people money that I have for their bills, and what can I do to help get you to a position where you're okay? Do your kids have food? That's what I do. That kind of stuff. Okay. Now, but she says I'm a Satanist. Now, back to the comments. So I'm telling April in this conversation, he doesn't trust you. He has some trepidation being he trusts you the most. I'm sorry. Out of all his family members, he trusts you the most, but he has a lot of trepidation in regards to being dropped off at your house as of yet, because he wants to get things worked out. He has currently come up with a plan in order to have Jeff Pesca held accountable. Everything that he's done, I have another extensive audio recording of, and Richard is well aware that everything is being documented and is fully on board with trying to have Jeff arrested. I hope you're doing well today and your brother sounds much better than he did the last couple of phone calls. And he and the person that had picked him up seemed to have a good rapport, and I enjoyed each other's company. Oh, by the way, just for the record, I use Siri a lot and I don't reread. I don't go and reread what I just wrote sometimes. And so when I send it, it looks like my grammar sucks. But anyway, it says, okay, he and the person that picked him up seemed to have a good rapport and enjoyed each other's company. Okay, take care. I will continue. So, see, there is my goodwill to April. Hey, April, we got to, I'm trying to get everything worked out, get you guys together, doing what I can, passing your message along. Now let me show you where that went. Let me show you. Okay, so then after that, thank you for the update. I would like to speak to my brother to have a light conversation. Then I wrote, if he wants to speak to you, he has your number, and I told you I passed your message along. So now, after I give her the, this, hey, things, we're trying to get things going. Then she's like, well, I want to have a light conversation with my brother. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? He knows, I've already told him. So what am I supposed to, you better call your sister. Richard, what? So I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of rude. So I wrote, if he wants to speak to you, he has your number. And I told you I passed your message along. Take care. And then look what April does to Johnny. From Kleck. If he wants to speak to you, he has your number. And I told you I passed your message along. So she's sending this out and she's copying. And then she says, he's blowing me off. What? I was like, dude, that's so rude. That's so wrong. I'm like, April, what are you doing, man? I'm trying to forge a relationship with you so we can. So April destroys all trust right there. I call her back. I've told everybody I am recording every phone call. They said, okay. I'm going to be playing some other stuff during this thing too. Y'all are going to freak out. Okay, y'all get ready to freak out. So now here she is blowing me off. Time is of the essence. He should be going to the police now. Okay, well, I agree. I want Richard to get in front of the police, get this shit in the open, get a signed statement, go arrest the kidnapper. Please. I would like to interview him. Maybe they'll let me have the interview room for a while. Say, Corey, bring me my peacock feather now. Take off his shoe. So stupid. Okay, time is of the essence. Now watch. So now I'm not really feeling very comfortable about April. Now watch this. From Clegg, okay, he should be going to the police now. And then she writes me, time is of the essence. He should be going to the police now. And I just sat there and looked at that for a while. Then she wrote back, don't you think? She didn't know that I saw that she had already copied me to somebody else. And she spoke about me kind of derogatorily. Kleck. That's how Jim and Karen talk about me. Kleck. That's how Gene Revelle talks about me. Kleck. JJ. My name's not JJ. That's them being rude. Isn't it fascinating? I mean, I'm like, okay, that's kind of uncool, April. Kleck. And then he's blowing me off. That's not true. Now April is saying things that aren't true. Now she's being disingenuous. April? Yes. Jonathan, if we're not able to speak directly to our brother or our brother directly, and our brother doesn't go down to the police, he is still a missing person. This maniac Jeff is still out there, possibly back at Richard's house. I hope so. Then you can still know where he is to catch him. And if you're not willing to work with me, then I will let the system take care of it. So now, oh, Johnny, if you don't do it, we're like, well, remember I told you I had an investigator. He kind of posed as a policeman, but he was really a private investigator hired by her family. Let me play that for you. Let's see what's going on there. So now you guys can know where I'm coming from. And the reason I'm like, well, wait a minute. Not everyone's being genuine here. So let's see. Richard Monk, Johnny's regular, El Dorado Sheriff's Office, Richard Monk, Deputy Murmur, private investigator. Here we go. State of Texas. And don't care. I'm going to let everybody hear it, period. Okay, here we go. You guys decide what you think this is, if he's being genuine.
I'm an investigator and
Oh.
with the disappearance of Richard.
Yes, great. There's a video on YouTube right now. There's a folder I made available of all the recordings that I've made. Richard is alive and well as per the time on the recordings that, we recorded him. He told us I'm here with Zach and I'm here with Corey, who are also sitting here during all these conversations. He said he was kidnapped by Jeff Pesca. He said Jeff Pesca duct taped him, put a sock in his mouth, blindfolded him, drove him, 3 hours, he said?
3 hours out, yep.
Drove him 3 hours. Richard said he was able to get out of his truck and run for it, get out of his restraints. And he's in Sacramento, right? He said he's in, anyway, so he said he's in Sacramento. And I sent him some money because he didn't have any money. I sent him money through PayPal so he could go get some food and water and that type thing. He told me that Jeff Pesca had taken his ID and his credit cards and had, pretty much just hauled him off out of his own place. And I recorded everything. I called up Jeff Pesca and I pressed him. I said, what the hell is going on here? And he said, oh, well, God told me to do it. I'm like, okay, this guy's a complete lunatic. So I've been trying to get a hold of you guys since, well, I'm going to pause it now, right now. Now, listen, I'm saying I've been trying to get a hold of you guys, the police department, because we had called over there again and again and again and again. I'm like, no one's calling me back. So I think this is the police department finally calling us back. And I'm just like, let me tell you what's going on. Freak out. And so watch where this goes. Ready? Let me back it up. So in case there's a lag, ready? I called up Jeff Pesca and I pressed him. I said, what the hell is going on here? And he said, oh, well, God told me to do it. I'm like, okay, this guy's a complete lunatic. So I've been trying to get a hold of you guys since, well, couple days. I've been calling, leaving message for the number I had for.
Admitted doing these things.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, I have audio recordings that are in the public domain right now under the video that we're watching right now. I am watching the video I just put out, and I made the folder available to everybody because I'm trying to get Richard Montbleu in safely.
And supposedly Jeff's still at that same address.
Where, if Richard's in Stackville, where is he?
Well, he's
Where's Jeff?
yeah, Jeff. Well, apparently Jeff Pesca, the guy that's committing the crime, is over at Richard's house. Maybe someone should go pick him up and ask him some questions. Richard is very scared because he said his family obviously thinks he's gone off the deep end. I know he's having some emotional problems. I know he's going through a divorce. And I've come to find out a lot of information that is just not adding up. And Richard's very scared to come into his family because apparently he's lost trust in them through the divorce, and his sisters, they seem very hostile towards me as well. And he just doesn't feel comfortable. And I said, well, let me see what we can do to find a way to bring you in safely.
Is there a way, who has contact with Richard? Do you have contact?
Well, he's called us several times. What we've done in order to get in touch with him is we ended up with an email for him. And if you go look at the YouTube channel I have, every time something happens, I post a video to try and help resolve the situation because it looks like people were trying to tie me to it. And I'm enough's enough.
He knows the bad guy's locked up.
Do you have a phone number for Richard that he answers?
I do have a phone number for Richard that he answers, but he said he doesn't want me to give it to anybody because
You're implicated in this. So if I were you, I would give it up to me.
Okay, well,
To clear your name.
yeah, well, why do you think I'm doing all these videos? Why do you think I'm sending you guys all these recordings of Jeff Pesca, this lunatic that's at his house and taking over? I have audio recordings of Richard Montbleu saying that he was taken by Jeff Pesca, tied up. Right in front of these two witnesses. After I reached out through YouTube, Richard Montbleu got a hold of me. And so, yeah.
Richard's fine. Go get the bad guy.
So,
When did you talk to Richard last?
About noon today.
Around noon today.
Noon today?
Yes, sir. And I'm sorry. I'm just, it's been quite an ordeal. I'm a little bit pissed off with all this nonsense that I've been
Well,
feeling.
no kidding.
Yeah.
Can you give me the number to Richard? Let me see if I can contact him.
Okay. So,
I'll protect him.
okay. First of all, I need to know your name and your badge number because, well, I'm doing this by the book. What name and badge number? And I need to document.
My name is Frank Roman.
Okay, Frank Roman. We're documenting everything right now, Frank.
57
I'm sorry, sir.
12057.
That's your badge number?
Yep.
12.
Yeah, in your department, please.
057.
Okay, and your department is?
I'm a private investigator.
Well, wait.
So you're a private investigator,
Okay, you're a private investigator,
right?
Yes.
but you're not a police officer.
No, but I'm working with the police department.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No. I want to talk to the police department. Have the police department call me.
This is,
But wait a minute. You identified yourself as a police officer.
I did not. I identified myself as an investigator.
Okay, well, and then I asked you for a badge number in your department, and you're
That's my number. We're licensed by the state of California.
Just refuse to talk.
okay. Well, I need to check that out just for Richard's safety because there's someone that tried to kill this guy. I don't know that this is legit.
How do we know that Richard's alive?
Go look. I just told you. Go listen to my video Go look at the show note links that are posted under the description box. What's the name of the?
Here, what's your email address?
Mine?
Yep.
Yeah, what's your email address? We'll email you the audio recordings that I've made of Jeff.
I just watched the recording.
So you know he's alive then.
Well, wait a minute. So you're not being forthcoming with us. What's going on? Why are you not being forthcoming with me that you've already watched them and you already know there's audio recordings? That doesn't make any.
Because I'm an investigator and you're implicated.
Okay, are you an investigator for the state of California? Yes or no?
I'm the investigator for the family.
Okay, that's it. I'm calling the police.
Yeah, not forthcoming one bit.
Dude, those guys are.
Okay, so there you go. So now let me do this. So there you go. Now, does that seem like something you would want to be let go? Like if you're Richard, would you trust that? I wouldn't. I'd be like, whoa, wait a minute. Don't forget there are court documents that Jonette Montbleu said that Richard is diagnosed, like a diagnosis from a doctor, schizophrenia. Richard says that's not true. Now, I believe Richard, but that's what she says. She also has $1 million policy on him. That's kind of weird. I'm not saying that she's out for the money, but in weird stuff like this, it's better that everybody knows everything, right? Okay, why would someone say you're diagnosed schizophrenic? Why? Why would someone make allegations about you on a document, like a police document? Why? And why would they say things that weren't true? How did she ascertain that Jonathan Kleck's a cult leader? Where does that come from? That sounds like Jim and Karen Sullivan and that crew. Kathy and them. Sounds like them. They do videos on it. Gene Rebel does videos on that. Even though Karen was healed, but because she was so insidious, the Lord took away her blessings. I understand why he gave her the blessing in the first place. I know why, and I know why he took it away. So anyway, isn't this all fascinating? Okay, now, are y'all ready to hear a recording that's from today? That out of nowhere, I made two audio files public today. I made them public today. I was going to do it last night, but my head was pounding. I was like, okay. So I made them public today. And then out of nowhere, I start getting text messages from Donna Bratton, which is Richard's sister. You know, the one that said, we're going to hunt you down. She's part of a terroristic threat with some other guy that's like, we're coming to get you, Richard. And Jonathan, I get Jonathan, you pussy or whatever. Okay. All right. All my windows get bashed out of my truck, I think 3 days before all this happens. Weird. In my truck, they were looking for something. Looked like they were looking for a gun. They didn't take $500 in the console. I had medication in the console. As someone's a thief and they don't read a medication bottle, someone would have taken it. They would have taken the white envelope from my bank that has cash in it, $500 cash. But they just jumped everything out of the console. They lifted up the back seats. They were looking for like a weapon. Were they going to use that weapon in a murder case against Richard Montbleu and then kind of like some other people that have maybe something else going on in the peripheral? I don't know. But it's weird. My car was broken into 3 days before all this happened. They left a little note on the ground. Let's rock. Okay. All right. All right. So now I've kind of brought you guys up to speed a little bit, but if you haven't been through all those recordings and you are not up to where I'm at, I've had to go through all that stuff. Everything you've seen, that's what I've been doing. Now I'm going to play a recording from you for today. First, I'm going to show you the text messages that Donna Bratton left. She sent them to me, so they're mine, and I can post them all I want. Also, anyone that calls me concerning this situation, you are being recorded, period. Now, let's go to Donna Bratton. So now we have, now let's start checking some boxes. I wanted to trust April. I wanted to say, yeah, April, let's get your brother in. But check that box. April's being disingenuous. Not just then. I called her back. I have other recordings where April's being very disingenuous. I confronted her. Why'd you do that? I confronted her on her turning around immediately upon sending her a text. And I was like, why did you do that? Like, who'd you send that to? She said, my mom and dad. I That's what she said. But today I pressed her, and you're going to get to hear it. She was sending it also to Donna, her sister, you know, the one that says I'm a Satanist, and she knows that whatever it is I've done. Let's see, let's read that comment one more time. Yep, sorry about that. Let's see. So true. Jonathan Kleck is a fraud. He is a Satanist himself. Fear your salvation, Jonathan, because what you're preaching and doing to people is all from the devil. Okay, so Donna Bratton and I are not going to have a reconciliation. She is claiming that I'm a Satanist, although I'm laying hands on sick and they're recovering, although I'm showing you the Vatican's a snake, although I can show you so much supernatural stuff and make your head spin. And today I got a call from Richard, not Montbleu, Richard from Taos, and his dad, who I laid hands on with a traumatic brain problem, is doing great. No more nosebleeds. He no longer has the constriction in his head. He's like, and Richard said he's like my old dad again. Yeah, but here these Jonathans are saying it. The Bible says in the end they'll call good bad and bad good. They'll say light for dark and dark for light. They'll say good for bad and bad for good. They turn everything backwards. That's what Jim and Karen do. That's all they do. That's what Gene Revel does. That's all they do. It's fascinating. Looks like people are all getting flushed out. Okay, I have firsthand experience what you've done to my brother. Okay, well, she also said that Corey and Zach were leaving comments that were threatening. I asked April to please share those with us. Of course, they couldn't and they wouldn't. They said no. Okay, so now let me see. I think Donna started texting me. Hang on one moment. Okay, so I don't have to try and thumb through the show notes. I'm going to show you. This is from Donna today. Let's see. Donna Montbleu today at 10:38 a.m. My brother needs to go to the police today. He should have been encouraged to go to the police the day he contacted you instead of putting out all these videos. Why, Donna? As time goes by, the case gets less credible. For who, though? It looks like his statement. I'm just going to read this. All these will be in the folder for sure. It looks like his statement is being orchestrated. So she's saying it looks like I'm orchestrating his statement. Looks like his statement is being orchestrated. I'm not accusing you, but what do you think this will look like? What do you think this will look like in court? And just for the record, we as a family love our brother and went there August 26th to get him away from Jeff. Well, props for trying to get him away. The guy's a lunatic. However, you're very disingenuous, Donna. You're calling me a freaking Satanist. Now you're, oh, hey, well, you know. So I wrote, who is this texting? Please identify yourself. So you can screenshot this and then read it yourself. Hang on, let it. So who is this texting? Please identify yourself. This is the famous Donna Bratton from the other videos. Are you the Donna that made the life-threatening recordings? So I'm identifying her. And she wrote, I am now involved because Larry and April are blocked by you. I blocked April because all of a sudden April's being so disingenuous I can't trust her. She was I thought she was going to be my ally, but then she sends my stuff in a derogatory way to someone else. And then when I confronted her on the phone, she was totally ran around the bush. I was like, okay, whatever. Done with you. Okay, she wrote, life-threatening recording. Where did you get that? So now she's trying to allude to life-threatening recording. Where did you get that? Let's not make this about me. Let's make this about my brother. And then I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. So she knows where I got the recording. It's in the show note folder. Her and some man calling up Jeff Petska. It's labeled as that in the folder. The guy threatening Jeff Petska. Jeff Petska sent those to me after our first phone call when he thought, oh yeah, Johnny and I'm going to lure Johnny in like we're part of some team. Freaking lunatic. No, I'm not good. I'm not taking the bait. Here we go. Okay, so now let me read to you the rest of this. I wrote, I've been very transparent and all that's in the folder at this point We're going to block you as well because we certainly feel like you're someone that can't be trusted. But and your brother is going to the I'm sorry. And your brother is going to the place. There's been an extensive group of audio recordings for his well-being. So sorry guys, I was using Siri right here. You know what? Sorry, I was using Siri, and Siri is not the most reliable thing to write and not read your. So there you go. You can really read it. And your brother is going to the place. There's been an extensive group of audio recordings for his well-being. Someone was willing to go help your brother, and he's been with him the entire time. And he's heard, the word her should be heard. And he's heard the entire story without any input from me. So the point is, so the guy that went and picked up Richard Montbleu that had been kidnapped, Richard's been with that guy the whole time out in California. He's had 3 days to hear everything with no input from me. I'm not out there. I'm over here. But when I do talk to Richard, I record everything so y'all can know what exactly it is I said to Richard. So whatever I've told Richard is on these tapes. Now, and I told Donna, he's been with him, and he's heard the entire story without any input from me. Everything will come out in the wash. I am sure of it. Thank you. Goodbye. And then I wrote, oh, and for the record, sorry about the grammatical errors because I'm using Siri. And then I wrote, and also for the record, you wrote on a Jim Sullivan video 29 days ago, so true. So on Jim Sullivan's video, she wrote, so true, Jonathan Kleck is a fraud. He is a Satanist himself, blah, 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 blah. And so, now, if you were me or Richard or any one of us that are trying to get Richard to safety, would you trust Donna, yes or no? No. Would you trust the private investigator? No. Would you trust April? No. Now you're going to get to see it all come together in a very interesting way. If you looked at the other recordings and you've heard that Jeff Pesca worked in gay clubs as a bouncer. If you heard in the recording from Richard Montbleu himself, Richard said that when he went to go get Jeff in New York and he was driving Jeff back to California while Jeff was going to be taking over his life and kidnapping him shortly thereafter. So on that drive back, Richard Montbleu said that Jeff Pesca said that he was a bouncer in gay bars and that's what he did. Okay. And that's supposed to be one of my followers? A bouncer in gay bars. Okay, no, this is delusional crap. Okay, ready? Then Jeff Pesca tells Richard as well, and this is all recorded. We have Richard telling us all this on recordings. It should all be in the recordings if you go listen to them. And then we have Richard telling us that Jeff Pesca was living with a transgender down in Tijuana. Oh, where was Richard being taken when he was kidnapped by Jeff Pesca? What did he tell him? You're going to get, what, effed in the rear end at least once today. Then you have this trucking thing that intersects, which is crazy. If you've listened to Richard's testimony about the truckers that were, once he escaped from Jeff, the truckers that were, he felt like it was the truckers that were hunting him in the almond orchard while he was hiding up in a tree. They were shooting off shotgun shells to try and have him give away his position because you can look down the rows. He was hiding up in a tree. This is some crazy shit, guys. And you know what? What's so weird is none of the family members seem to be very genuine at all. None. Nobody does. And we're trying to get Richard into the police to give him a statement to go arrest Jeff Pesca and make sure everyone that's involved gets arrested. Anyone and everyone that's involved needs to be arrested. But Richard has put it in a in a statement. He's put his facts together. He sat down for several days. He just got kidnapped, by the way. He doesn't feel like he can trust any family members, by the way. And yet they're pressing him. You need to do this. You need to do this. And then you're going to hear maybe one of the reasons why they want him to do this so quickly. It's unbelievable. I'm going to play you that audio right now. It's from today. I had Richard on the phone. I called up his sister, April. I had blocked her because of her disingenuous nonsense. I've told her over and over again, I record every single phone call. She's already said yes. After I recorded this, you can hear it yourself. Ready? All right, let's see what's going on. Isn't this crazy? You think Jonathan Kleck was the mastermind behind this? It's just so, it's so insane. Okay, here we go. Ready? Let's watch the insanity roll out a little further. Billy in California, who's with Richard. Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Okay, April just called. So put me on speakerphone. If you have a way to record everything, record it. If you don't, whatever, go ahead and start your recordings now. So I'm going to put you and April together on a phone call, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Let me add her to the call real quick. So just stay there. Okay, are you guys recording all this? Billy, Richard?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a screen record. It's all I can do while we're on the phone.
Yeah, can you go ahead and start that up now?
I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. We're going.
Okay, so I'm going to call your sister right now. Let's get you in front of the police department to press charges against Jeff Pesca. I'm so sick of this dude. This guy caused some major crap in my life. Okay, here we go. And I know he did some horrible things to you, and let's get this guy. Okay, let's add the call. Here we go. One moment. Hey, April, hang on one sec. Hold on one sec. April, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you for calling me back. Okay, so April, just to lay things out real quick. So Richard has been diligently working on his statement for police. He wants to go in and press charges against Jeff Pesca. I want him to because I want to be out of this mess that I was drug into by some lunatic named Jeff Pesca. So we're trying to figure out the best way to do it, but there's some very strange things that have come up, and Richard's concerned about family members trying to grab him and throw him in a mental institution, which I understand that he might have trepidation about those kind of things. So what would your suggestion be if Richard's got a statement written out and he's ready to go?
He's ready to go to the police.
Yeah, he's been ready, but he's been trying to write all this out and get everything written out. I told Richard I don't want to be anywhere near what he's writing. I want him to do it all on his own. You make it your statement. I don't want to be any part of it. He's with some other person out there in California. I said, it's got to be your statement, Richard. I don't want to be, someone that people, oh, you told him what to write. I'm not going to be part of that nonsense. So if Richard says he's ready and he's got a statement that he's ready to do, what would you suggest be the next course of action?
He needs to call the police.
Okay, well, now here's the thing. He's had the number to call the police since, I guess, the first time we talked or second time we talked. We gave him the information.
Let me just please explain. So Deputy Mermod he starts work at 4 p.m., okay?
No, he only works on the weekends.
No, he works at 4 p.m. He starts his shift 4 p.m. He doesn't just work on the weekend.
That is completely contrary to what Deputy Mermod's told me. Deputy Mermod has told me.
I've spoken with him during the week.
Okay, well, Deputy Mermod, I have audio recordings of Deputy Mermod saying he only works on the weekends. I have text messages of him saying that. I can pull one up right now.
Okay, well, maybe it's my misunderstanding, but what Deputy Murbaugh told me, if he's not on duty, they will have somebody else on duty, and Richard needs to go in person. And you know what he told me? He said all these YouTube videos, all these emails mean nothing unless Richard goes in person to the police.
Okay, so then Richard wants he like I said, he wants to know when he goes in person to the police that he's not going to be swamped, and the person that he's going there with, by the way, whom I didn't know until the other day, until we put out this, could someone please help us? Richard's out in California walking around and whatever with no money and not no way to do anything. Someone was willing to step up and help him. And that's the person he's been with since this began. Do you understand? Now, can you imagine being that person that stepped up to help him, what that person might feel like in this situation?
Absolutely. I'm sure he wants Richard to leave.
Yeah, wants him to leave. He wants Richard to be safe.
So we want Richard to be safe too. And I had told you that I would love for him to come stay with me. I will help him in every way that.
So do you believe that I pass those messages on to Richard or no? Very quiet.
I'm hopeful that you did.
Okay, well, Richard is on the phone. Richard, why don't you talk to your sister and tell her what's going on?
Okay,
I'm going to pause
Hi,
that.
April.
Now, first of all, Richard, tell your sister, what state are you in right now? Okay, I'm going to pause that. So when I asked April, well, do you believe that I pass those on? Well, he made a video recording sending it out so she could see it. Hey, April, it's your brother Richard. I'm okay. April, I'm looking directly at you. You're welcome. You're welcome, April. How sick. So I'm passing everything on, trying to be as transparent as I can be, doing an entire folder, everything that's coming in, I'm putting out there for everybody. And I'm like, your brother called and checked in with you, April. And you're being disingenuous behind my back, sending clicks blowing me off because you're pressing me. Everyone's pressing, trying to get their hands on Richard. I'm like, okay, I understand. I want to know where my brother is. But if I saw a video recording, okay, he's doing good, he's alive and well, thank you so much, I'd be like telling the person, thank you. Well, how do we do this? How do we get him in? Well, he needs to trust someone, that's for sure. But look at all the people that are breaking the trust. His own family members. Now, watch where this goes. Just watch. Wants Richard to be safe.
So we.
No money and no way to do anything. Someone was willing to step up and help him. And that's the person he's been with since this began. Do you understand? Now, can you imagine being that person that stepped up to help him, what that person might feel like in this situation?
Absolutely. I'm sure he wants Richard to leave.
Yeah, wants him to leave. He wants Richard to be safe.
So we want Richard to be safe too. And I had told you that I would love for him to come stay with me. I will help him in every way that.
So do you believe that I pass those messages on to Richard or no?
I'm hopeful that you did.
Okay, well, Richard is on the phone. Richard, why don't you talk to your sister and tell her what's going on?
Hi, April.
Now, first of all, Richard, tell your sister, what state are you in right now?
I'm in California.
Okay, have I ever said anything during this entire time that is inconsistent with what's going on here?
Hey, Richard, will you?
April, here's my perspective, okay? Jonathan Clark is the only one that has been genuine through this whole process. And he put an APB out for your request to his entire subscriber list and was able to reach me and then identify where I was and then send somebody to pick me up out of concern for my safety to secure my well-being. And I've listened to all the videotapes between him and our family members, and there is no trust whatsoever between our family members and the guy that actually was responsible for securing my safety and getting a confession from the guy that kidnapped.
That's right. I got Jeff Pescott to freaking confess because I pressured him and I recorded the whole thing from San Antonio.
I want you to understand this. I was bound, gagged, threatened with my life, and he was going to tell me, he told me that I was going to be effed in the ass at least once that evening.
I've heard all of it.
Okay.
Okay, well, hey,
I would like to speak.
Stop.
I would like to speak.
let him talk.
Listen.
Let Richard talk.
Let me listen. See, this is what I'm talking about, April. You're not grasping the gravity of the situation here. There's a concerted effort to just get Richard in the hands of the family, and I don't trust that because you're not listening to what I am going through. You think you understand it, but you're not, because you're not letting me finish. Okay? So I was dropped off in my underwear in a sweatshirt as I escaped from the back of his truck and hid out for 3 days in an almond orchard, being tracked down by truckers and people with guns trying to flush me out of there. And I, by the grace of God, escaped by this Christian couple that was willing to drive me home to Sacramento and drop me off. Do you understand what I have been through? No one seems
every day.
No one.
I cried, Richard, when we all cried when we heard what had happened to you.
So why do you continue? Why do you and Donna and this private investigator who doesn't really seem to care about what Jonathan Kleck has to say continue to treat Jonathan like he is involved in this? And there is no trust. Donna continues to align herself with some lunatic fringe on Facebook that had basically come
First
against
of all,
Donna.
I'm not Donna. You know I'm not Donna, okay? Please hear me. Please hear I was sick. I was worried. You disappeared. I'm the one that confronted Jeff. I'm the one that went down to the sheriff's department and filed your police missing persons report. I'm the one that put your missing person on Facebook. I'm the one that did on Next Door Neighbor. I was working so hard to find you.
Okay, well, guess what? I'm the one that brought him in.
I know.
Okay, well, I'm getting. Wait, hang on a sec. I'm getting tired of your sister out there running her mouth with people like the Sullivans who are just total trash. I don't care. Listen, April. As soon as I'm giving you all this information that I'm trying to give you, and you're pressing me to make Richard call you, I said, well, he can call. I gave him your message that you want to take care of him. I pass that all along. And then as soon as I get off that text message, you say what? Kleck. And then in a derogatory way, he's blowing me off. Who were you sending that to? I'm recording this. Who did you send that to? Who did you send that text to?
Listen.
Answer the question.
Listen.
No.
Listen to me.
Answer the question. Who did you?
Answering any question.
Oh, now you're not going to tell us who. You told me you sent it to your parents.
Listen to me.
Okay, isn't this interesting?
That's not relevant.
Oh, it's not. Wow, why not?
Relevant.
Who are you sending that text to? Who did you say Kleck is blowing me off? What?
Out in all the recordings, they're wonderful, but they don't hold up until my brother goes in person. And meanwhile,
Your brother's talking to you on the phone right now, April.
is in the house, and guess what he's still doing, Rick? He's still spending your money. This package is being delivered.
Is that what y'all are worried about, is the money?
No!
Oh my God. He's still, she said it, he's still spending the money.
My brother!
Why won't she answer the question where she sent that text?
April, this
And you want Rich to trust you.
private investigator that you hired to find me.
I didn't hire him!
I don't. Well, who's
Well, some family member did, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, he tried to make us believe he was with the sheriff's department, and he's not. He lied. So now we have involved a private investigator named Roman or whatever, and he's being disingenuous. He's not being forthcoming. You're not being forthcoming. You won't even say who you forwarded that information to. Why not? Why not just be open? What?
It is relevant because it goes to the credibility
Well,
of whether you believe that Jonathan is involved and that you can trust him. Jonathan's the only one that I can trust right now.
yeah, and here you are, and April Montbleu, you won't even tell us who you were texting. Jonathan's blowing me off. Why not? Who cares? You said it was your parents. That's what you said.
It's my family and it's my family and Richard's friends.
Well, who those people are?
Jonathan, why did you block me and now you're calling me?
Because I wanted some time to let things play out, let Richard get on his feet, let Richard have a little time to think. He's been through a traumatic ordeal. He's with somebody that's just helped him.
I feel blown off when you.
Oh my God. Oh, see, here you go. Why wouldn't you? You know what? Y'all are very disingenuous people. You really are. Here I am. I sent back $10,000.
But then emotional role.
You know what? But y'all are, you know what? Y'all are so disingenuous. It's crazy.
Brother.
Hey, Richard.
April, you're contributing to it with not being genuine. You are being disingenuous. Because I heard the tapes with Jonathan. Listen, let me speak. I heard the tapes with Jonathan. The fact that he gave you everything that you needed, and then you went and told people that he was blowing you up, which is a lie.
Yeah.
Listen, which is a lie, which goes into the trust issue, because you're looking at Jonathan as the enemy who you should be thanking for identifying.
Yeah, because some lunatic wheedled his way into your brother's life, posing as some Jonathan Kleck follower. All I have is a YouTube channel, okay, April? I don't have some ministry where people come meet in a building, nothing like that. Some people follow me on YouTube. Good for them. So what? Some guy shows up in your brother's life, convinces him to come pick him up. Your brother goes and picks him up. This lunatic gets inside your brother's head, starts taking all his money, sends me 2 freaking bait checks. I realize something's not right as soon as I see the missing person thing. The first thing I do is I send the money back, and then I start putting out someone help us find Richard. Now I found your brother, and you and other people are trying to keep me involved in this, and I am disgusted with you guys. That's enough. It's enough, man. Richard's out in California. Richard, are you safe? Yes or no?
Yes, I am.
Are you completely safe and comfortable where you're at?
And the gentleman that I'm with, I trust more than my family right now.
Isn't that crazy? He's with some person that I've met on the phone after I put out, somebody please help us. We need someone in California. Instead of your family going, oh my God, this guy's going to every link to help your brother. You guys are trying to keep me in this nonsense. That's disgusting. Really disgusting. Shame on you people. Sickening. That's sick. Now, let me tell you something. Jeff Petska, someone needs to arrest that punk and get him in a freaking room where they ask him every freaking question. Listen, wait a minute. We already posted online. Richard, I posted 2 audios from.
It's louder, Jonathan. Police are telling you.
Okay, well, listen, Jeff Petska, it's already part of the public record out there.
This is Richard's next step. This will be what the Delta signed everything. This is to Richard.
Okay, this is the next steps, April. I'm telling you where I'm at. It seems as though with my computer, brand new computer, that there are forces preventing me from finishing this. I'm doing a bunch of workarounds. I am almost done with my statement that I am bringing to the police. I am going to bring the statement to 2 local police. I'm going to send you also the statement with all the links to Jonathan's show notes, where he has every single documented phone call between me, Jeff Pesca, the reach out to his community, the conversations with the private eye who basically lied to him, Sergeant Murtaugh, who basically said, he's off the case now, and now there's a new person. He's got it all documented. There's all the information that's required and needed to bring Jeff to justice.
Yes. Yes.
And I will send a copy. I'm going to send a copy via certified mail.
It doesn't mean anything unless you go down in person and make.
I will go in there once I know that they have certified received it, because April, when they sent a sheriff's department to my house, when Jeff was originally there, we checked the records. records, and it wasn't even documented at the El Dorado County Sheriff's Department. It wasn't even a record of them showing up. We don't trust them because they're loosey-goosey. So I want to make sure that they've got this statement first. Then once they read it, they can call me. I'm going to leave my number, and then I can verify that they've read the information, received the information, and then I will go in there and meet with them face to face.
And I want to interject right now. To me, Corey, Zach, are y'all witnesses?
Yeah.
Does that sound like someone who's speaking very rationally? I mean, speaking about Richard, you sound very rational, Richard. That sounds like a very intelligent thing to do, where you cover all the bases and you make sure that every base is covered, and the information that you've got to go get Jeff Pesca is not just in one person's hands, but it's been put out to many people. That sounds pretty smart. And you know what? Everybody, it'll all come out in the wash. But if people are worried that he's out there spending his money, you know what? The people that have donated to try and help me did I tell you, Richard, I'm willing to give you $20,000 right now if you need money? Yes or no?
Yes, and willing to sustain whatever you
Children, Richard.
Hey, bro, listen to me for a second, all right? Just listen to me for a second. My ex-wife lied on a restraining order, said I was schizophrenia, said I was a crazy kid, said I was suicidal, I was ready to put a gun to my kid's head and in my own head and do a suicide mission, and then...
Oh, wait a minute. Stop. Slow down.
Out of state, take my kids out of state, and
Oh, wow. Wait, hang on. I want to hear...
I don't know anything about this.
Hey, wait a minute. Richard, everybody stop talking 1 moment. So, what's your wife's name? Johnette. She made false allegations on an official document saying that you were diagnosed as schizophrenic and that you were going to do harm to yourself and your children?
Correct.
That sounds like they're trying to have you arrested under what's called the Baker's Act, where they're trying to get you they're trying to put you in a facility where they lock you up based on that information. Now that sounds really suspicious to me. Why would someone make false allegations? If Richard has truly been diagnosed with schizophrenia, someone needs to bring the report from the doctor. Someone needs to provide all that information and say, here it is. But if that is a lie and she's got $1 million insurance policy on him, that's a huge concern. Here's another huge concern. April, when I asked you about the $1 million insurance policy, the first thing you did, and it is recorded, oh no, she really loves him. They're still good together. That's what you told me.
It's far from good together.
So there's a whole lot of things that don't make sense. And being who I am and having been through the court systems and having one custody of my kids here in San Antonio, one custody of my child up in Minnesota, because I've taken 3 MMPI, sweetheart. That's why I called and told your husband. I passed them all. Jonathan Clegg's testing was unremarkable. That means not even a remark. Dina Trevino, court-appointed psychologist. I won custody. So I want to make sure that there's a record of all this, because now there's people lying on court documents, namely Richard's wife. Why would she say that he's...
Anything about that?
Okay, well, I'm documenting it all.
If the whole family happened to be in town the week that we had our hearing around this restraining order?
Has nothing to do with that at all, Richard.
Well, this is really weird. I mean...
Do you see my concerns now? Don't you find it interesting that the guy that came to my very aid and rescue has been through the exact same scenario that I am?
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's fascinating to me. Wow, isn't it crazy that your sister is making terroristic threats to Jeff Pesca like it's no big deal? Who would do that on a recording? That's so strange. Why is the other person making the terroristic threats saying, Jeff, I'm coming to get you, and Jonathan Clegg too, he's a pussy. Whatever. Who are these people? Why are people not investigating those people? What's going on?
Hey,
Yeah.
that is not me.
Okay, well, can you agree to this?
But April,
Can you agree to this, April? There's some very strange things going on here.
Jonathan, I made you a promise. What did I say to you?
The promise you made to me? I made you a promise that I would not play your audio on YouTube. And And that you would take care of Richard.
Promise that I make to you.
As far as I remember, that you would take. I'm gonna pause this. I recorded my first audio with April. We had about an hour-long conversation. She asked me not to play that audio. I told her, "You have my word, I won't play that audio." I didn't tell her I wouldn't play this audio. I'm playing this audio no matter what. And if you guys want to go to court over it, let's go to court over it. I don't care. I do not care at all. And because I want the truth to come out. But when I say I gave her my word I wouldn't play any audio, the audio I was talking about was several days ago. She and I had a headbutting contest. I was trying to get to know her, and that's when I thought, okay, maybe I can trust Richard's sister April. She proved to me I couldn't. Now you're going to hear how badly I can't trust her. Ready? Agree to this? Can you agree to this, April? There's some very strange things going on here.
Jonathan, I made you a promise. What did I say to you?
The promise you made to me? I made you a promise that I would not play your audio on YouTube, and that you would take care of Richard.
Promise that I made to you.
As far as I remember, that you would take care of Richard and you wouldn't have him arrested, or that they wouldn't try and grab him. I think.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? But I don't believe you, because after I hung up, you're forwarding one of my text messages saying Kleck's blowing me off. So now I don't trust you. You've lost all my trust, April.
Back to the very people that would be.
You're not responding to me, and you were not giving me the information I needed.
Oh my gosh. I'm putting every single thing in a giant folder that's available to the entire public. Let me ask you a question. Wait. Hey, April, let me ask you a question. Does somebody that's involved in something like this lay himself this bare and go to these kind of efforts in order to help your brother and clear my own name? It's a yes or no.
I said no. Do you hear me?
Yeah, well, what's up with all you guys your sister just left a thing online, and again, it's a cute.
Right.
I don't care. You just said you were passing that information along to your family. Was Donna included in that? It's a yes or no answer.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're being totally disingenuous. So you were passing that on to Donna. So there we go. So now why didn't you want to tell us that in the first place?
April, I'm not speaking just to you. You are not running individual on this. Whatever goes to you goes back to Donna, Bud, Mom, and everybody else involved.
Wow.
That's how our family works. Okay?
So all you guys.
It's not you. You are part of them because you're running point, because you're the smartest of the family, and we have the tightest relationship between the family.
Oh, that sounds about right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this entire recording and make this public. That's the best thing to do. I don't want anyone to think anyone's got anything to hide. I got nothing to hide. Maybe you should go check into the Sullivans and Gene Rebel and all the weirdness.
That public.
You what? So now, there you go. There's more, but I'm going to save that for later. We can go duke that the next part out later. But y'all should. The whole audio right here is going to be left for you guys. You know what? I'm going to play the whole audio. Ready? I just knew it'd piss him off real bad. So here we go.
You're the smartest of the family, and we have the tightest relationship between the family.
Oh, that sounds about right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this entire recording and make this public. That's the best thing to do. I don't want anyone to think anyone's got anything to hide. I got nothing to hide. Maybe you should go check into the Sullivans and Gene Rebel and all the weirdness.
That public.
You what?
I don't give you permission.
Oh, you don't give me permission to make it public. Well,
nope.
I'm sorry, but guess what? I'm sorry. I've already recorded you saying you understand you're being recorded. Every phone call is being recorded. I have the right in Texas to do exactly that. Too bad. Sorry. Okay, Richard, I think it's time. This is becoming unfruitful. It's time to hang up. This is Jonathan Kleck
summarize. I just want to summarize what I'm doing, April.
Okay.
So I'm just about completed with this statement. I'm going to bring it to 2 sheriff's departments here. I'm going to mail you a copy as well. Actually, I'm going to send you an email copy as well, and then I'm going to mail it to the El Dorado County Sheriff's Department, certified to make sure that they have received it. So they can't say, oh, I didn't receive it. And then I'm going to wait to receive a call back from the Sheriff's Department to set up an interview one-on-one once I know that they have the information. And then I will go in there and be interviewed face-to-face.
That sounds like a very reasonable plan to me.
That's the next steps. So,
Because,
okay, I'm safe. Okay, you know my game plan. It's a very methodical plan to protect myself and to also make sure that these guys know that there's a slew of information that Jonathan has put together on a synchronized timeline that gives them all the evidence and the documentation and recorded phone calls, admission of guilt, so that they can do their job in the most efficient manner to bring this guy to justice.
there you go. That sounds really smart.
For allowing this maniac Jack.
Dude, wow, April, weird. April, you didn't just say that. Oh, weird. Isn't it just a rental house?
April, we do this the right way, not the Rich Montbleu way, the right way things ought to be done.
Wow, that sounds so good. That just sounds like someone that's speaking rationally and coherently and someone that's got a good plan. But April, you seem to have some other agenda.
How did you guys?
Okay, well, this recording, I'm gonna be sending this to a lot of people. So, and we're probably gonna make this public pretty quick. Okay. All right. Are we through here, guys?
We're good.
I didn't give you permission.
Thank you. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Goodbye, April. I don't care what you say. Too bad. You already did. Goodbye. All right. Okay.
We're talking stuff like on the laptop.
Hang on. No, you come do it. You come do it. I don't want there to be any possible error. I want this recording to stay intact. Wow. Interesting. She sounds like she's worried about the cash, the money.
She's all Walter stuff.
It's all. Okay. There you go, guys. Now you know what I know. All right. And honestly, I have had enough of the nonsense. Can you imagine if they had been just genuine and we all worked together? But see, I'm a Satanist. But see, there's a spiritual thing going on here. Now you can see the spiritual war, can't you? They're saying Jonathan Kleck's a Satanist. Jim Sullivan's saying it. Karen Sullivan, Kathy Edge, Chuck Edge. They're all making these allegations, doing videos that Jonathan Kleck followers are threatening Jim Sullivan and all this weird production. Listen to the music on Jim's videos. Just pay attention. There's this weird setup trying to draw me in with 2 checks. I'm glad I saved the envelope because I was like, I'm going to send this guy a thank you note. That was so nice. I've had people try and give me $100,000 before I said no to Irene Corona. I was like, thank you, Irene. I can't. That's just too much money. I don't need that kind of money. Give it to other people. Yeah. So anyway, isn't it fascinating? Then the Sullivans are out there saying, oh, Jonathan Kleck, all he cares about is money. No, that's them. That's all they care about. I give my money away like it's nothing. Don't care. You decide. Did you guys hear the tapes? Okay, now, let's get Richard to a very safe place. He's in a very safe place. He's already in a very, very, very safe place. He's very comfortable. He's like, hey, oh, thank God the trauma's over. But the family seems to be just, instead of like, you know what, Richard, do it how you want. We're here to support you. We love you. If you, okay, you got this, sure. And he can open up a dialogue with them and they can say, okay. But instead, look what's going on here. I want to have my name cleared because some lunatic that, was a bouncer in gay bars in New York. Does that sound like something I would subscribe to? I would still say I love you in Christ. I know people that work at restaurants that are gay. I go up and give them a hug. I'm like, hey, how's it going? How you doing? I don't have anything against you if you're gay. I don't care. But if you're a bouncer at a gay club, that's kind of interesting. If you're living with a transgender in Tijuana, that's kind of weird because I think, Richard's testimony is that Jeff Pesco was taking him to San Diego to drop him off, to be sodomized, I guess, is what he said. Tijuana's right on the other side of the border. He's living with a transgender. Do you see all the weird? Yeah. Kind of freaky, right? And then I got people like Donna saying that I'm a Satanist when I'm trying to bring the guy in and give him money and whatever he needs to make him safe. They'll call good bad and bad good, won't they? I think we're very close to what's on the U.S. currency. I showed you guys the U.S. currency notes have bombings of all the buildings in the United States. $10 bill's got a tidal wave covering New York. The new $100 bill has a nuke going off, taking out New York City. Those are the new images that I prophesied in 2007, and then the words that came out of my mouth manifested on the $100 bill. Out of the sea shall come fire and smoke, and a devouring wind. That's a nuke going off. Water as high as the walls of Jerusalem will cover the city by the sea. That's a tidal wave. So those same images came out on U.S. currency notes. Let's watch that one little video real quick, and then I'll wrap this up. Let me show you what I'm talking about. They manifested as images on U.S. currency notes. Let's go to the Jonathan Kleck channel, and then let's go to here.
Reports have shown, hidden in the United States currency notes reveals something very insidious. These images are disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Reports show the bills produced and distributed for the United States have printed on them bombings that have happened in the past, and bombings that will happen in the future. The immediate threat coming is a nuclear attack on New York City. It has all been planned from the beginning, and there is no stopping what is to come. These are clips taken from a video called Destruction of America produced by Jonathan Kleck, and have been deleted by YouTube to continue to conceal the truth. We are now looking at the 1998 US $20 bill, alongside the Twin Towers moments after the attack that took place in 2001. As you can see, the money printed years prior to the attack is identical to the attack on the Twin Towers. Now we will turn the bill over to see the Pentagon bombing on the same bill, folded in the same pattern. This is now two attacks that happened on the same day identically printed on the same United States $20 bill. If you are skeptical that this is real, or think it might be a coincidence, this is not the first time they printed an attack on your money. Let's quickly review the older $20 bill. This is the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building bombing that took place in Oklahoma City in 1995. Some key characteristics worth pointing out is the rounded corners on the ends of the building, the face blown off, and the floors of the building jutting out. I will now take an image from the Oklahoma bombing and lay the $20 bill on top of it. As you can see, we have another perfect match. Now we will go over the bombing that is to come. This is the United States $100 bill. Folded into the same upside-down pentagram, you can see New York City being consumed by an explosion. There is hidden watermark ink on the bill that cannot be seen with the naked eye. Putting the image into computer software, I will show you each layer of ink that shows you the full destruction of New York City. With each layer of ink added, you can see the movement of the explosion coming towards you. We are front-loaded about this upcoming attack in many ways. Here is an example from a movie called The Day After Tomorrow. Putting the bill and movie clip next to each other, you can see they are front-loading the same agenda. Looking on the next image hidden on the same $100 bill, you can see a nuclear missile impacting the water. The watermark layers of ink show the water splashing from the impact of the nuke. Laid on top of the bill is a missile strike and how it would look to show you the resemblance between the two. Finally, let's look at the new $10 bill and review the exact same agenda hidden on it. Firstly, notice the orange tint on the bill. This was done with intent. On the top of the image, you will see a large explosion happening while the building has a large tidal wave pouring over top of it. In the bottom portion of the image, you will see the building's reflection from the water flooding. The threats are real and should be taken seriously. For more information, links are in the description below.
So here is the most obvious question in the world. If you were made in the image of God, why does the Bible say, while you were yet my enemies, I saved you? How could you be made in the image of God, but you were his enemy? So let's just do the simple mental math. Who's the enemy of the Lord God? Who's the enemy? The serpent, the dragon, Satan, the devil. And those are all one and the same. Every single one. Revelation 17, that old dragon called the serpent, the devil and Satan was cast out. So that's who was cast out. That old dragon, the serpent, the devil and Satan. The Bible says, while you were yet my enemies, I saved you. The only enemy of Jesus is the serpent, the devil, the dragon, Satan. So that means you were the serpent, the dragon, the devil, or Satan, because those are his enemies. So just using the mental math, while you were yet my enemies, I saved you. Okay, again now, back to the scriptures. Why do we have to be adopted? Adopted means you had another parent, because when you were born into the earth, you had earthly parents. And the Bible even says, if your parents knew how to give good gifts to their children, how much more will your Father in heaven give to those who ask? Okay, so see, the Father in heaven is the Father of spirits. Everybody gets confused with the flesh and the spirit. People's brains don't know how to delineate. There's a difference between flesh and spirit. So the Father of spirits, and we made our choice to come here. And so now you're commingled with another spirit, a demon, angel and a demon, inside one host body. That's the whole understanding. Then you have to be adopted. Then in Genesis 1, let us make man in our image. There's the spirit of the world. There's the spirit that's of the world, the prince of the power of the air. And then there's the Holy Spirit. Why do you think you have to get a new spiritual conversion? Because the spirit that's running you isn't the Holy Spirit. It's a no-brainer. So when you turn back to God, you turn back. Where's God? God's in heaven. Up. You turn and look up. That's why Islam prays with their head to the ground. Satan's their daddy. Anyway, in this story, it's the most obvious thing in the world now, and then the Lord's given me all the information that proves it to be true. So anyway, the scriptures never fail, ever. So no one can come against the information because the scriptures bear it out. And then the information and the gift that the Lord gave me, the Vatican's a snake. Prove it.
So there's the Vatican. Yes or no? Is that a serpent wearing a crown? It's a yes or no answer. Okay, well, the person speaking to you is the one that the Lord God chose to reveal all this to the world. Do you think that maybe he might be working through people to try and get to Johnny, to try and get to Rich? Did you ever think about that? Now, here's the problem. When people lie and they falsely accuse other people, the Bible says if you're a liar, you're a child of Satan. I've seen a lot of lies going on here. What's going on? Especially Jeff Petska. He's number one on the list. Number one liar, Jeff Petska. He's a psychotic liar. Jeff, if you're watching this, dude, what a fraud. What an agent provocateur you are. But you got caught. Now, everybody else, repent. Tell God you're sorry. I'm sorry I did this. Why would you go after someone in the way that you have without relenting? There's no relenting, I notice. There's no like, you know what? Sorry. It's okay. All right, guys. I think we're getting very close to something very supernatural happening, and it sure lends itself to the whole reality that if I showed everybody that the bombings are on the money and the future bombings that are about to happen, those are going to happen, right? And why wouldn't everybody want every recording to be played? Let me ask you that. Why? I'll let every recording be played. I don't care. Whatever. Let's do it. All right. I love you guys in Christ. Download this. Send it to your friends. Keep copies of it. All right.